Far to the north of Europe, beyond the frontier forests and tempestuous rivers, lay lands where the Roman Empire perceived only the very edge of the civilized world. There, peoples whom proud legionaries branded as barbarians made their home. These territories, it might seem, should have been the abode of uncivilized tribes, devoid of law, culture, and nobility. Yet, with every encounter, the Romans faced a perplexing enigma. These were tall, powerful people, whose warriors, clad in vibrant attire and wielding superb weapons of fine iron, certainly didn't strike one as savage. Instead, they were a people with deep-rooted customs, a rich culture, and a system of values strikingly different from anything familiar to the inhabitants of the Eternal City. They were the Celts, and their barbarism concealed secrets that would both astound and ultimately transform Rome itself. The Celts didn't erect marble forms, but their settlements, known as oppida, were formidable, fortified towns. Encircled by mighty wooden walls and deep moats, these served as vibrant hubs for trade, craftsmanship, and communal life. Their homes, constructed from readily available materials like clay, timber, and thatch, each featured a central clay hearth, providing both warmth and light. Livestock farming formed the bedrock of their prosperity, with the pigs, in particular, revered as symbols of abundance and fertility. In stark contrast to Rome's stringent patriarchal customs, Celtic women enjoyed surprisingly extensive rights. They could own land, initiate divorce, and even engage in trade. Their diet was simple yet hearty, consisting of porridges made from various grains and meat. Their favored beverage was beer, which they brewed from barley. However, what truly astonished the Romans was something else entirely, a highly developed and rather unconventional culture of personal grooming. It was within this, at first glance, savage culture that the very foundation of European hygiene was laid. First, soap. Indeed, long before the Roman Empire adopted its widespread use, the Celts had already uncovered this secret. They crafted a thick paste from animal fats, most often pork or beef fat abundant after feasts and sacrifices, and wood ash from their fires. Ash, as we know, contains alkali, which reacted with the fat to create this remarkable cleansing agent. The resulting viscous substance not only washed away grime, but also possessed the astonishing ability to lighten hair. This is precisely why many Celtic warriors sported light, almost white hair and mustaches. They deliberately sought this effect, which gave them an even more formidable and enigmatic appearance. To the Romans, accustomed to cleansing their bodies with olive oil and astrigil, a curved scraper, this barbarian invention seemed odd, even laughable, but the Celts were already using a precursor to our modern soap, and this was far from their only hygienic innovation. For Celtic warriors, using soap was far more than a mere hygienic routine. They would rub it into their bodies before battle, viewing it as an integral part of a sacred rite. Their bodies were cleansed, their hair brightened, and the pungent scent of herbs, they believed, could both frighten enemies and imbue the warrior himself with a sense of ritual purity and invulnerability. It was not merely a cleansing agent, but an element of their warrior cult and psychology. Among the Celts, soap served a far broader purpose than just personal hygiene. Healing. Herbal additives rendered the soap antiseptic, used to treat wounds and prevent infections in the harsh realities of the Iron Age, where even a minor scratch could prove fatal. Thus, soap was not a luxury item, but a practical and multifunctional tool for survival and maintaining health in the challenging conditions of Northern Europe. The Celts, in general, were remarkably tidy and ingenious for a people whom Rome dismissed as savages. Archaeological discoveries in Celtic burial sites attest to the presence of razors and combs, indicating a well-developed culture of hair and beard care. Men, for instance, meticulously styled their hair with a lime paste, shaping it into forms that ancient authors described as battle helmets. Women wore intricate hairstyles, adorning them with delicate metal pins and vibrant ribbons. They even had public baths, perhaps not as opulent and monumental as the Roman thermae, but entirely functional. While the Celts brewed their own beer, they acquired wine through a brisk trade with neighboring tribes and Greek colonies. Their homes, though simple on the exterior, were often adorned within with exquisite wood carvings and vibrant textiles. Warriors famously wore trousers, braccae, and colorful plaid cloaks, a sharp contrast to the Roman toga and tunic, and yet another testament to their distinctive style. Initially, the Romans scoffed at this barbarian practice of anointing themselves with a mixture of fat and ash. Their own hygiene regimen, based on oiling the body and then scraping away the grime, seemed to them the pinnacle of civilization. Soon enough, however, the practicality and efficacy of Celtic soap became undeniable. Gradually, through trade, military campaigns, and cultural exchange, the secret of this ingenious invention spread throughout the Roman Empire. Soap became an integral part of European life, and today, it's impossible to imagine modern civilization without this simple yet brilliant product. The irony of it all is that the foundation of our daily hygiene didn't stem from the magnificent philosophers and emperors of Rome, nor from its engineering marvels and scientific discoveries, but from the tribes whom Rome so condescendingly labeled savage. This was one of the great, yet often forgotten, lessons that the barbarians imparted to their mighty neighbor.